referrals today. So let's get started on that. I know the slide says creating clients for life, but that's really what referrals are. Referrals and repeat business is our focus. So that's what we're working on today. So we're going to talk about really, we're going to focus mostly on that post-close system, getting those referrals. So we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, setting up that third system where we have at least 30 interactions with everybody in our database moving forward. And as part of that, we're going to use the Ford sandwich, the family, occupation, recreation, dreams, to have those conversations or open those because we want to build relationships. And then every conversation we have with them outside of maybe that initial conversation, sometimes if we haven't talked to somebody in a while, we just want the up. And if business happens naturally, that's okay. If it doesn't, sometimes we're just going to let that slide on that first connection. But every connection after that initial one, we want to be asking not when are you going to sell your home or are you ready to buy another one, but who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So that's one of my favorite lines. It's really easy to work it in there. It also helps them to not feel like, as we're connecting with our database, number one, we're opening with that family, occupation, recreation, dreams. We're building that relationship. And then secondly, we're not asking them to do business with us. We're asking who do they know? Because most people know somebody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Now, as I talked about, I believe it was last week, and I'll bring it back up again, using a memory jogger as part of that conversation is going to be super helpful. And the reason being is that if I call up my friend or family or coworker and I say, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Or maybe I just connect with some random person and I'm going to ask them that same question. When we take it a step further and we say, hey, who do you know that you work with, that if they go to church or that from your kid's school, or who do you know? And we talk about those memory joggers. Hey, neighbor, coworker, or one of the groups that you belong to who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. It's going to cause them automatically to open up their mind a little bit further. Okay. So it's going to go beyond most of the time, if I go, hey, Deborah, who do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Her automatic answer is going to be, I don't know anyone. Yeah, I can't think of anyone right now. Sorry. And you're gonna be like, okay, no problem. But if I go, hey, Deborah, who do you know that, you work with, somebody else that you've done business with, maybe a neighbor or a family member who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Now I've got her mind thinking, gosh, coworker or somebody a friend or family or my neighbor. Oh, my neighbor, right? So I've opened their brain up to think beyond the initial response of no by using one of those memory joggers. So think about what you want to include in your memory jogger. You can use this on every time, like friends, family, neighbors, right? Whatever that might be, so that they don't just give you a straight note. They actually causes them to think a little bit deeper before giving you that response. Does that make sense to everyone? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I do have the chat box open, so you can throw responses in that chat box. You can unmute yourself and answer, or you can give me your little Zoom emojis. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever that might be, smiley faces. But let's continue on. All right. By our goal, right, with repeat business, we don't just want the one and done. We want to offer a higher level of service so that we get future sales, future purchases, or any investment properties that they might have. So that's really what the system is talking about. When we start talking about your database, staying in connection with those people, it's really just moving forward to try to get this repeat and referral business. Okay. In doing so, we want to create raving fans, and that helps us to expand our circle of influence, right? If we can lean on our past clients, our friends, family, those we already know, to help us generate additional leads with referral business, that helps us to naturally expand that circle of influence. And I will tell you what, if my member is talking to somebody and says, oh my gosh, you have to work with Amy, she's amazing, chances are they're going to call me. They're not going to talk to anybody else because that person who referred me already knows me, loves me, and trusts me. And now they're saying, hey, to somebody that already knows, loves, and trusts them, they're saying, use this person. That makes it like this little triangle of they already trust me going into the conversation, even though they don't already know me. Okay. So referrals are a great way to grow your business, and we don't want to forget about that portion of it. Most of the time when I talk to agents who are like, I just don't get referral business, I'm like, well, how many times did you ask for it? And they're like, well, I didn't. Right? So we don't ask what we don't, or we don't get what we don't ask for. So make sure we're always asking for referral business. Okay. So one of the main ways to do that outside of just our regular interaction plan that we already talked about with 30 plus interactions for those that we're already connected with, that we have relationship with an intention to move them to converted into transactions, or the 19 plus plan to move those people that we don't have current relationship with into relationship, is we always want to ask for referrals. Who do they know that might be looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? So those people are always going to do that. When we actually transact with somebody, it gives us that greater ability to be able to ask for referrals because they have now experienced our level of service. Okay, with that, we want to make sure that we have an after sale action plan that we're going to implement moving into the end of the transaction. And I'm going to give you some like tangible things that you can do. And we want to move every client into that plan without exception. The one that I'm going to show you today is really aimed a little bit more at our buyer clients than our seller clients, but you can go in there and tweak it for your seller clients because we want to be in contact with them as well. After all, we truly want to be listing based because we can generate additional leads from those listings. And then we also want to help service our buyers. So we'll take more buyers, but we really want to focus on gaining those listings, which means that we need the after sale plan, not just for our buyers, but our sellers. No matter what happened to our sellers, whether they sold so that they could rent, so they could move into a family home, so that they could move out of state, whatever it is, we want to stay in constant communication with us because we want them to refer other people who want to sell homes to us. Okay. You have to be consistent in actually completing the activities in your after sale action plan in order for it to produce results. Okay. So we talked about the importance of working your database. Last week, we actually showed you how to, like in one suite, how to set up some of those reoccurring emails, how to use tasks, how to set up the property searches and the market update. That lesson, go back and watch it. It went a little over in time, like 10 or 15 minutes, because I really wanted to dive in and show how to use the tasks as well as not just set up the email plans, and then also show you the features that it has as far as being able to send listings or market updates. So we went over all of that last Thursday. Okay, so if you didn't see that, watch it because that's going to incorporate into your after sale action plan. Okay, so after sale action plan, we're not close somebody and move them to the 30 plus to convert, because somebody who has closed a transaction, we want some more stuff out of them that we may not be asking for from the regular people in our database. So here's what I would recommend. This is like the first week post close. We want to include an evaluation at time of signing. So do some sort of feedback form that goes out with the notary that they complete at the time they sign their packets, their closing packets. This is going to give you a temperature check of how the transaction went. And it's usually, because we don't have wet closings here, we sign our documents and it's usually 1 or 2 days prior to the close of escrow. It's not over yet. We can still fix something if it's not going right. So this is going to give us a temperature gauge of how the transaction went. I highly recommend that we check in with our clients prior to the close of escrow, and we should know how the transaction is going so we can fix it, course correct as we're going to offer that higher level of service. But at the very least, do that evaluation at signing. If you get a poor evaluation, we may decide that we don't want to ask for reviews. Okay, but if we got a stellar evaluation, now we can ask for reviews, right? So a day prior to close of escrow, so right, evaluation at signing, and then before we close escrow, they're usually really happy at this point. We're either happy because we're preparing to close on our home that we're buying and get ready to move into it, or they're happy because they're a seller and you've helped them sell their home so they can move on to whatever their next. So at this point, we want to say, hey, who else do you know who could benefit from the same level of service that you received in their buying, selling, or investing in real estate, right? So who do you know? Ask for those referrals before the close of escrow. Put it as part of your touch campaign plan, part of your reminder plan, so that you remember to do this. Okay, at close of escrow, we're going to give them keys and say congratulations. Okay, a lot of people at close of escrow do a closing gift of some sort. I recommend not doing that at the close of escrow. Okay. You may want to do, I mean, you could do something small, like a small basket of like cleaning supplies or something like that, or like a gift certificate for a pizza or something fun that's going to help them in that transition of moving. But generally speaking, I don't do my regular closing gift at close of escrow. Also, keep in mind there's tax ramifications for a closing gift. So check with your tax consultant, but general rule of thumb is you can write off $25 per person for that closing gift. Now, the caveat to that is that if it's actually a marketing versus closing gift, it's got like branded and stuff, again, check with your tax professional, then you don't have a limit. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. But I usually don't do a big gift or anything at the close of escrow. At close of escrow, we also want to post on social media about the closing, maybe share something about the story, right? And then tag those people in our social media post, whoever our clients were, so that they can see and go, oh my gosh, and be reminded. And then it'll pop up in their memories down the road on their social media, right? So it's not just like the day of, it'll continue to pop up year after year as part of their memories or their flashback. Okay, one day after close, call and check in on them. How are things going? Are you figuring everything out? Do you need help with something? Right? This is a good time if they're like, yeah, we can't figure out how to work the pool filter, or we can't get the HVAC system to turn on, or whatever that is, that they're not stuck just like, oh, I was abandoned by Amy. No, she called to follow up on me to make sure everything was working. This is also a time that you could still call the listing agent and be like, hey, listing agent, my buyer's having problems with this. Can you help me? Okay, we want them to be happy. Okay, maybe like 3 days post close of escrow, you may want to email them their home warranty information. If they did not get a home warranty as part of the purchase, we may want to send them over details, because you've got that window of time after the close of escrow where they get the purchase or the close of escrow pricing on a home warranty plan. So we may want to send them over details. Hey, in case you've decided that you want a home warranty, here is the plan information and pricing for you. And then we want to text or call to follow up, right? So we want to send that over and then let them know that, hey, I just sent over via email the details for your home warranty plan. Here's a reminder on that. The service call fee is $80. If something happens with your dishwasher or this or that, right? Give them some examples. You can call if you have any problems with getting some coverage on that home warranty. Don't hesitate to call me to get me involved as well, right? So we can offer them assistance there. Or, hey, I just want to let you know, you didn't want a home warranty as part of the close of escrow. We opted not for one, but if you decide to, you do have a short window where you can still opt into the home warranty at the cheaper pricing. And I sent you over that information to your email box, right? So really easy. Close of escrow. Usually they've got so much going on leading up to the close of escrow and at the close of escrow, they kind of forget about the home warranty. So it's a good idea to remind them about it. Okay, that's why I like to do it a few days after. Okay, so that's like the first 3 days from just before close of escrow to close of escrow. Next, at like 1 week post close of escrow, and you can always do this sooner, I'm going to ask for reviews. So I'm going to say, hey, would you be willing to leave me a review? Usually I say like a week after, because now they've had time to kind of move into the house. Things have settled down just a little bit. Usually those first few days are a little crazy. If you ask for reviews, they're going to feel overwhelmed. So usually that 1 week, I'm going to just ask for those reviews. I highly recommend when we ask for reviews, and I'll give you all of the places here in a little bit. but we actually go to those places and get the link so that it's not, hey, can you leave me a review on Google or whatever, Google Business? And then they have to go find, actually going to send them like an email or a text message with a link that they click on. It takes them right to the spot where they can start the review. Okay. So that's about 1 week post close.
Amy, I have a question on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any like automation in terms of sending out that email that we have access to? I think we might have, I've asked for reviews on Rate My Agent, but it doesn't filter through to, I believe it's our website and Google Business. So is there a better way to like set things up, or do you have a template for that?
I don't have a template for it. I would recommend, so there are services like Rate My Agent or other ones where it will solicit your clients for reviews. I actually, when I got started in real estate, I had one of those services and it was really fabulous. But here's the bad thing. Those services cost money. And when you stop paying for those services, when you cancel them, not only do you cancel the service, but it takes back all the reviews that it gleaned from you or for your clients. It takes them all away. Okay. So that was a mistake I made. So if you're going to use those services, make sure that if they get the reviews, that you own the reviews and they aren't going to take them away if you stop using the service. Okay. Number two, you could just put together just a regular email as part of your post closing follow-up plan, and you can create that in OneSuite. And it may be like, once a week post closing, maybe there's 6 places that you want to get reviews from. Maybe week 1, we're asking for a Google Business review. Maybe week 2, we're asking for a Yelp review. Maybe week 3, we're asking for social media review, right? And it may drip on them one each week instead of asking for 6 all at the same time. But that's totally up to you how you want to use that. I don't have a template for it though. And that's just my caution with using services for that. Make sure you own the reviews and they aren't going to take them away if you stop using the service. Week 2 post close, I'm going to follow up on the reviews. I'm going to see if they've completed the reviews that I asked for or the review that I asked for. If they have, I might send them out like a token of appreciation, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the review. Here's a $5 gift card for Home Depot or a coffee house or whatever that might be. If they haven't completed a review, it may be an issue of, hey, just a reminder, if you wouldn't mind leaving me reviews, it would be really helpful for me and my business. I really appreciate that, whatever that might be. Okay. 3 weeks post close of escrow, send them those photos of their home that they purchased or that they sold. Okay, you can ask the listing agent if it's a home that purchased, ask the listing agent if you can get copies, the original copies of the photos. If they aren't willing to give you those photos, just log into the MLS. You can write those or pick some key photos and save those photos. Trust me, they will appreciate it. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back into the MLS because I start doing stuff to my house that I've bought and I forget to take before pictures. I'm horrible at before pictures. So then I'm always going back into the MLS to like pull copies of those before photos. Or if they sold a home, sometimes they like those photos just for sentimental purposes. So 3 weeks post close, I would send them all the pictures of their home. Again, you can ask the listing agent or get them from the MLS. Or if you had the listing, you obviously have those photos. So that's about 3 weeks post close. 1 month post close, I would stop by now with my closing gift. Things have settled down. I've been connecting with them. I know things are going well. I'm going to stop by and drop off that closing gift. It's also an additional time that I can ask for referrals. Okay, right? I'm stopping by. I know they're happy. Here's your closing gift. Who else do you know who might be interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate with me using my expertise, right? Great time to ask for that. And again, they appreciate the closing gift much more at this time than they did on day 1 in most times because it's so busy, things kind of just get thrown to the side. Okay, so for that first week, I connect multiple times. After week 1, I'm kind of doing like a once a week connection until the first month. And then once I hit that first month, then I'm going to connect with them once a month. So 2 months post close, I might connect with them on social media. Keep in mind too that anytime during any of these connections, if they haven't left reviews or we're asking for additional reviews, that's a great time to do it as well. So we might connect with them on social media, might send them another text message of, hey, can you leave me a review on Yelp, or send them off that email for additional reviews. 3 months post close, I might send a text message to them of something like, hey, I'm showing properties and I was thinking about you. How's everything going with the house? Right? We just want to connect with them. Okay, so that takes us through 3 months. Now, if you notice here, we talked about last week the level up your interactions, where 1 month you call them, the next month it's like a social media interaction, then a text. That's kind of what we're moving towards here. We're setting them up for that 30 plus to connect, but we're doing it with a different intent in mind for year 1. Okay, we want to connect with them on that house they purchased. We're going to assume that they're not going to turn around and sell that house. So we don't necessarily need them on a 30. We want to connect with them in a different way, and it needs to be purchase specific. Okay, months 4, we're going to call the check-in. So month 2, we interacted on social media. 3, we sent them a text message. Month 4, we're going to call and check in. This also might be a great time to send them off that vendor list of, here's who you might want to connect with. We can also do this sooner. We don't have to wait until month 4, but this might be a good time. They're settling in. They're starting to think about what those projects were that they wanted to do to the house. Now might be a good time to send them over your handyman and your window cleaners and your house cleaners and your contractors, and all those things that come into that vendor list. Okay. 5 months post close, again, we're going to connect on social media with them. It might be commenting on a post. It might be sending them a message. It might be just liking something, right? Whatever that might be. We just want to create that connection and awareness. Part of this is that it's just setting us up to be in front of more people on our social media. Okay, so this is by connecting with people in a systematic method on changes that algorithm so that they start seeing our posts more. Okay, so it's strategic that way, not just in making that connection. 6 months post close, we're going to send another text message, follow up with them. Happy, half year anniversary in your new home, whatever that might be. Send them something via text. 7 months post close, we're going to call. We may want to remind them about their home warranty. So if they got that home warranty, we want to say, hey, just a reminder, your home warranty is good for the first year in your property. And then, so we might want to send that over in an email and then call to follow up with them as well. 8 months post close, we want to connect with them on social media. 9, we're going to connect with them via text message. Then that's going to roll us into 10 months, which is a call to check in with them. 11 months social media, and then 12 months post close, we want to send them a happy home anniversary card, right? They're coming into their first year in their new home. I would also recommend making it a habit that every time we've got somebody that's got a home anniversary, right? That home anniversary, that we want to get in the habit of pulling up a CMA report for them. And it can be like quick and dirty, like through RPR, where we just plug in the address and it basically is like a 1-sheet printout of what that is, just to keep them updated of their market value. Okay, so I would recommend everybody in our database who owns a home once a year, and their home anniversary is a good time to do it, so you don't get inundated with everybody all in the same time period, spreads it out throughout the year, that we do that CMA report for them. And you can either email it to them, you can drop it in the mail, or you can actually drop it by their house. Depending on where they're at in your database, this person closed a transaction with us. Hopefully they've referred people to us by this point. Hopefully we have reviews from them. I might not email this to them. I might actually drop it off on their doorstep. It just level of touch. Somebody who doesn't always answer my phone calls, hasn't done business with me, hasn't referred people to me, those like C clients, right? Or those like silver clients, those may get it mailed out. Right? So my gold clients might get it dropped off. My silver might get it mailed out. And then my bronze people, they may just get it emailed. Okay. So we can adjust our touches based on where they're at in our categorizing of potential clients. Okay. In addition to those, In January, wherever January falls, send them a copy of their closing statement from the transaction. It's not too late to do that now. So everybody who's closed this past year with you that you closed in 2024, send them a copy of their closing statement. They're going to need it. Okay. So be proactive and get that off to them. So every January. So that's why it's not in like a specific month, because somebody might have closed in November or somebody might have closed in March. So every January, send them a copy of closing statements from the previous year.
I have a
Once
question on
we get
that.
the, say that again.
Where would I find the closing statements?
Yep. Two places. One, they usually get emailed to you at close of escrow. So if you haven't cleaned out your email, it's probably still in there. Number two, there's always a copy of it in your SkySlope file. So all you have to do is go into your one login, go to SkySlope. It'll pull up all your transactions. You can go to your archived ones, or you can search by address. And you can just click on there. It's at the very bottom of that transaction checklist. You can get a copy of that. Or if you remember who the title company is, you can always email the title company and ask them to send you a copy as well. They can send it super simple to you as well. So lots of ways to get that information. Once you've hit that 12 months, then we're going to move all of these people over to our regular 30 plus to convert plan. Okay. So that's what happens at the end of the year one. After they've closed on a house, they're just going to get moved over and converted to that plan. We're going to continue to follow up on reviews. So continue to do that throughout that first year, even moving forward until they've left reviews at all the different places that you want them to leave reviews. And then at every connect, ask for referrals. Who do they know? Neighbors, people they've met, people from work that are thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate in the next year. Okay. And it's always better to get the referrals contact information from them than it is for them just to pass your information along. Again, same thing as business cards. If we get their information, it keeps us in charge of that connection. All right. In addition to those interactions that we talked about, those were all more personal interactions. They were phone calls. A few of them were emails, but most of them were phone calls, text message, or social media. Some were sending out cards. In addition to that, we want to make sure that we've added them in that first year to our monthly newsletter. So they should be getting a newsletter via email or mail every month from us. I would sign them up for the monthly neighborhood update, where they're getting that market report that we talked about last week on a monthly basis. Those, so the newsletter may come out on the first of the month, the neighborhood update may come out in the middle, or vice versa, right? However that works for you. In addition to that, I would make sure that they get a birthday card on their birthday in the mail. And I would make sure to get all the family birthdays. So not just like one spouse, but both spouses' birthdays if they're married, or their significant other, if they have children, get those birthdays. If they live with a parent or somebody as well, right? Like sometimes we have multi-generational living. Whoever lives in that house, get their birthdays from them and send everybody a card on their birthday. Our insurance agent growing up, when I was young, whoever my parents had for insurance, I think it was State Farm, because I think that's who I had when I turned 16. They used to send me a birthday card every year on my birthday. And I know it sounds stupid because I didn't even know the guy, but it was just really cool that, oh, somebody my parents know sent me a birthday card. They cared enough about us to send me a birthday card. And that was special to me. So I recommend you get all the family members' birthdays and send everybody a card on their birthday. We want to make sure to have that in our database. If they're married, send them a happy anniversary card on their anniversary if they have a significant other. I would make sure to send them a holiday card. So pick a holiday. Everybody knows my thoughts and feelings on Christmas cards versus other holidays. So whatever holidays you've chosen to send out cards to your database, make sure this person gets one as well. And then I would invite them to at least one event during that first year. Something fun, exciting, whatever that is. Okay. Any questions so far about getting repeat and referral business? Okay. I would recommend leveling up your service by doing housewarming parties. Dun, da, 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 right? You've got somebody who closed on a transaction, they're moving into a home. We want to level up our service. You can let your clients know during the purchase transaction that you would love to throw them a housewarming party. And as long as they're open to it, plan to do so. You can let them know that, oh, we normally do it, 3 weeks after you move into the home or whatever that timing is. Have a system around that process. Make sure the timing's the same. That way you kind of know and can set yourself up. I would do it based on move-in date, not necessarily close of escrow date, because as we know, some people don't move in for like a month after the close of escrow or whatever that might be. You can let them know that you're going to take care of all the invites. You're going to take care of the food and beverages and fun. All they have to do is give you who they want invited to their housewarming party. I would use an electronic invite system so that you capture names, numbers, emails, and addresses for those that are invited and those that RSVP. Okay, because we're going to add all of these people to our database and we're going to tag them appropriately, right? So now not only are they not necessarily giving us referrals, but they're connecting us with the people they know, love, and trust the most that they would like to show up for a housewarming party. So add those people to your database. I would tag them with the last name of the client and housewarming. So if Deborah was a friend of my client, when I added her to my database, sorry, Deborah, I'm picking on you today. When I add you to my database, I would tag her. Let's say she was Amanda's client. I would tag her with Bell Housewarming so that I know that that's how I'm connected to that client. Okay. And we're going to put all of these people that we're adding to our database from the housewarming invites, we're going to put them on a 19 to connect because again, we've captured their information. They're like a zoo animal. They don't actually know us yet. They will come to know us, love us, and trust us. But until that happens, they're going to be on that 19 to connect plan. You're going to make this easy for yourself. Okay, by serving the same food and having the same theme at each party. It makes it easy for you to just repeat the process. I would also make sure to create or purchase a photo booth to use so that people can take selfies at the event. Or you can, if you've got a photographer friend, that'd be a good time to invite them in to take actual like real photos at some sort of photo booth setup. I would personally mail and email the invitees on behalf of the client to make sure it goes well. Once you're there, you want to mingle and take photos and videos to send to. Okay, your goal at the party is to have fun. Your conversations don't have to be about real estate, but you do want to take notes on who you talked to and what you talked about. Okay, so the goal at the party is just to have fun, make connections, and build those relationships. I can guarantee you that your clients are going to be happy. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're throwing us this housewarming party. Every time they're around you, if somebody walks up, they're going to be like, hey, Mark, did you meet Amy, my realtor? She's the one that sold us this house. And she's throwing this party for us, right? And Mark's going to be like, oh my gosh, how do I sign up, right? So you're going to pick up people from those events. I would also invite the closest neighbors so that they can meet their neighbors. And I would check with the clients to make sure they're okay with that. Hey, are you okay with me inviting like a couple houses next door, maybe like 2 or 3 next door and 4 or 5 across the street to the housewarming as well, just so you can get to meet and greet those neighbors. Most of the time they're going to be okay with it, but I would actually ask and make sure. And then in the end, in addition to adding those people to your database, to putting them on the 19 to connect, you also want to send them out a thank you for attending. If you have their, you can send them a thank you in the mail. You can actually like print up pictures if you wanted to. You can email them or text them with a photo or video from the party. And it might be a good idea to take all the photos and videos that you took during the party, put those together in a slideshow and just send those out to all the people. It's just going to be a reminder. It's going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself as the agent. It's going to remind them about the fun that they had at the party and the fact that you threw that party for the people that moved into that house. Deborah, I'm glad you love this. I think it's a fabulous idea. I think more agents should do it. I think this is the magic in getting referrals from closings. Okay. So housewarming parties, and you can make it simple. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be all night. You don't have to provide booze. You can just be like, here's what I provide, hors d'oeuvre, snacky, finger food type stuff, and like some lemonade and iced tea. It could be just bottled water. It could be bottled drinks. It could be a craft, right? Whatever that is. Make it simple, make it repeatable, make it systematic. Any questions about that before we move on from housewarming parties? Okay. For our non-clients, we still want cheerleaders, right? And just because they haven't used us doesn't mean that they can't refer us. So even if they haven't done business with us, we still want to ask them for referrals. Again, this is a great way when we connect. We do our Ford sandwich, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. We're still going to connect with them on that 30 plus. And every time we connect with them, who do they know that may need to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Okay. We can also get out of area referrals. I picked up referrals today. In fact, my database, aunt and my cousin are preparing to sell their homes in Southern California. There's two of them. I pick up a 30% referral fee for both of those homes because I've been in connection with them. They know me, love me, and trust me already. So I'm going to find them another agent down there they can know, love, and trust. I don't have to hardly do anything, and I collect 30%. So don't neglect the power of referrals. Okay. You can, continue to level up, your friends, family members, your circle of influence. Past clients are lucky to have an agent as skilled as you. As long as you have systems and processes in place and you offer them a high level of service, they're going to want to refer their friends and family and coworkers to you. They're going to brag about you. Okay. So make sure that you have all these things that we've talked about, these systems and processes. Put them in place. Make sure you write them out. You know what it is. You know what you're connecting with them. And then also I would create systems and processes through the purchase and sale process. We talk about this all the time in our Rev Up training. We do like our listing contract to close or our buyer contract to close. Like be consistent in your weekly follow-ups. Let them know what's going on. Provide little like tokens of what's happening in the transaction to them. We want to offer a higher level because it's going to pay off in the end in lead generating for us in calls that we don't have to make because we're going to pick up those referrals. I talked about the evaluation form. Make sure you send that with the notary at closing. That's going to give you that thermometer to either ask for referrals or fix what's not going right. Okay, so evaluation form is key. If you've had closings and you haven't asked for reviews or you haven't done an evaluation form, it's not too late. You can go back and ask, hey, I'm evaluating my business and I never asked you how I did. Can you provide me with some feedback so that I can improve my level of service? Right? So it's okay to go back and ask for those people that we have not yet. I would, unless you know the transaction went great, I would not just say, hey, can you give me a review? I would ask for feedback. And everyone, if somebody asks me for feedback, for the most part, I'm always going to give them like something that they could have done to improve it. I might say, oh my gosh, it was so great. It was a great transaction. It went really well. And if you just wanted to step it up just a little bit, here's what I would do. Right? So ask for that feedback so that I can improve my level of service. Not, hey, you thought I did poorly, but what can I do to make it even better? Okay. Here's the places that you may want to ask for reviews. You've got Yelp, Google, social media, realtor.com, and Zillow. Those are the main places that people pull up reviews on. If you're going to ask for Google reviews, obviously you have to have a Google business page. And same thing with Yelp. You have to have a Yelp business, which you should have. Okay, so if you don't, go set that up. You can also have your own realtor profile, as well as Zillow. Those are all on there. Ask for those reviews. And you can do things like making it fun. Like I said, if somebody gave you a review, you might want to send them like a little gift card, a little token of appreciation for the review that they left. You could do drawings. So if you're going back to your database of 250 people plus, right? You might say, hey, I am trying to get my reviews filled in on Zillow this month. If you leave me a review on Zillow, you get 2 tickets into our raffle or 5 tickets into our raffle for a night out on the town, right? And if you leave me a review for Yelp, Google, Facebook, or Realtor, you get an additional entry into that, right? So we could do it that way. We're focusing in on when we're really driving the reviews on Zillow this month, and we're trying to back it up with the other ones. So we might do like monthly drawings for those that leave reviews. So you can do stuff that makes it more fun, not just that you're like begging them for stuff and never giving in return. We want to trade value for value. Okay. Um, your vendor list, right? I talked about this previously. I've talked about it lots of times, but you want to create a publication of area businesses, house related, personal restaurants, right? Like vets, best restaurants, contractors, handymen, house cleaner, window cleaners, pest inspectors, pest treatment companies, you know, contractors, whoever it is. We want to have a list of our preferred vendors because we want to be the go-to for anything that they might need in their life. We want them to think, oh my gosh, I need something. I'm calling Amy, right? So it's not just about real estate related needs. We want them to think of us as the area expert for everything. You can use Move Easy. I actually think it's called Live Easy now. It's one of the free tools that we have through Realty One Group. I would keep a list separate from that as well, but that does give you a digital option to be able to put all those vendors into Live Easy, and then be able to send it out electronically. It also allows you to keep it up to date as you add people to that list. It's not like we're sending out a new list to all of our clients. We're just updating it to go to that digital copy of it. So that vendor list is a great way, number one, to make an extra connection post close of escrow. It's also a great way to make one of those connections throughout the year on our regular 30 plus plan to remind them that we have that information available. And then it makes us just the go-to expert in the area for all things that they might need. Ask for referrals. I talked about this already, but make sure we ask for them throughout the transaction. Actually talks about our promise script, which you can utilize when we have those first conversations with our clients. So the promise script is at the beginning when they say, yeah, I'm going to work with, sign the buyer broker agreement. They sign that listing agreement. You say, hey, my goal throughout this process is to give you a 5-star experience. I'm going to deliver such amazing service to you that you're going to want to refer people to me. And if you don't refer people to me, I'm going to assume it's because we've done something wrong. And I'm going to want to talk to you about that and what I could have done better. Can you do that? And they'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I want 5-level service. And I'm sure, yeah, absolutely. If I got great service, I would want to refer people. And then they're going to say, yep. You're going to say, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to count on you for that referral. All right. And then we're going to shake hands. We've now entered into an agreement. For most people, a handshake still means something. Okay. And then you're going to wrap it up at the end. You're going to follow up with, okay, so just so we're clear, if we get to closing, we haven't been in touch with giving me the I can help, I'm going to assume that I haven't delivered on my promise and that I could have done something better. And so I'm going to want to talk with you and find out what I could have done to earn that referral. Is it going to be okay with you to do that? Right? We're getting permission to have that conversation with them ahead of time. That's the promise script. That gives us the ability then throughout the transaction to say, check in and be like, hey, I just want to check in. I haven't received that referral yet. So I just want to see how I'm doing. Right? So you can check in with them throughout. Hopefully you get more than one referral from that, but this has been very successful in just opening that conversation and setting the expectation from the beginning of the level of service they're going to receive and the response to that level of service being a referral. Okay. Reward the act of referring. We talked about this, and we want to promote referral rewards program. There's people that have like VIP groups, like the 10 people that have referred or the top 10 refers into a VIP group where they a package of the month or a present of the month from you. It might be that you reward the act of referring by giving a token of appreciation, maybe a gift card to a restaurant or coffee or whatever that might be for every referral that you get. You might give a second one for every referral that actually closes, right? But we want to reward that act of referring, because like if I refer somebody to Jana, I can't control whether that person actually does business with Jana or not, but Jana should still reward me, because when somebody said real estate, I said Jana. Okay. So reward that act of referring, and then you may want to reward it again once they've actually closed. And then if you may want to have some sort of plan in place for the referral that chooses you, right? So Jana may have something. If I refer somebody to Jana, she may be like, yeah, absolutely. I pay for the home inspection, or I upgrade their home, their, not the home inspection, could be a home inspection, but maybe it's the home warranty, or maybe I upgrade their home warranty to a 2-year plan, right? So I pay for that upgrade fee to take it from 1 year to 2 years. Or maybe they get, 2% back on their closing to use towards their closing costs, or whatever that might be. Or maybe you pay for the home inspection, right? So it could be something like that. But so you want to reward the referral for choosing you, because you want to create that relationship and that bond of, well, I know 3 realtors that I could refer them to, but I know Amy's going to reward me for sending the referral to her. And I know that I'm going to get a bonus, and she's going to take care of the clients when they close escrow. Right. And so we may want to promote what we do. Be careful with this. We want to make sure that we're consistent in what it is every time. And we don't want to get in realtor jail. So we can't give our commissions away. Okay. We can credit them towards closing costs. And like if I refer somebody to Jana, a split of the commission for the act of referring somebody. Okay, that's illegal. So don't do that. But you can give them tokens of appreciation. Any questions on the information that we covered today? Any ahas, anything that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to implement that in my business tomorrow? What are our takeaways? All right, everybody's quiet now. Hopefully you guys got something good, Deborah. Lots of great ideas. Fabulous. On Thursday at 9 a.m., same link, we are going to be talking about some of the other systems and things that you can utilize to help you automate your system. We covered last week about what OneSuite can do for you and kind of its limitations. So we'll talk about some other things that you can do to help automate and set yourself up for success, to take some of the stress off of you. So that's coming up on Thursday. And then on February, stay tuned, because we're into lead generation in February. So that's going to be our focus. It will start with broad. Why do we lead generate? How do we do it? What do we do? And then throughout the month, we will talk about different forms of lead generation, some of the systems and processes you can put in place around those. So anyways, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I will see you on Thursday. Have a fabulous week.